Sanji Jidang Zojin Jonan La Sanji Bade Dane Jasenji Dage Jujin Jibe Sonan Dola Pinsir Sanjin Debai Sho Sanji Jidang Zojin Jonan La Sanji Bade Dane Jasenji Dage Jujin Jibe Sonan Jin Dola Pinsir Sanjin Debai Sho Sanji Jidang Zojin Jonan La Sanjay Bade Dane Jasenji Dage Chujin Jibe Sonan Dola Pinsir Sanjay Debai Badin Zavala Marumbonji Dage Jor Beme de Yola Karin Jimbe Gone Jizon de Koson Tujing de Zade So Yeah. Okay. First, I love to say, first I want to use my walking English. Thank you so much for the Waste Studio. First I came to Monterey, I think this is 2008. I teach here more than 4 or 5 years. I don't remember exactly. Every Monday we have to hear Amitabha Bhaktis and other different teachings to hear. Thank you very much. Today I come back. I'm very happy. It's very nice here, everyone. Also, today teaching is the just takarase gore ngati naba kita chi tsawe yong da chi korang naba ngone mai je de cha de yores.
So the teaching today is on a subject that is the very foundation and of the Buddhism, of the Buddhist scriptures.
Tindi indu tani 가장에 삼노 만보당 담본디나는 추가레시고 유미 삼노 만보당 같은 세 아니 다 드링 같은데 태동 그 토니 추시에게 유도자니 딩콜 나나 유지 집어자 많이 받다다 말레이시아당 아니 싱가포르 샤소자가 가시진이 다들 파제 동항시게 줄이 딩도 자니 지 남부 출은 들어와요 주지 아니 다다 So
in considering that today would be a live broadcast, which would also be reaching many people in other countries, in East as well, then after a lot of consideration, I decided to speak on this subject, which is more kind of Buddhist, a real central kind of Buddhist subject.
Today, Tambo ani chu majila hona ani chu ga chi kunhong chu shidang ge ani samla ju chi dang ne ani kunhong zambe thon chu shya de beke chimbore yasi.
So it's very important in doing any kind of Dharma practice to set a good motivation in the beginning, a motivation of compassion and kindness.
간대지 삼록당고도 시디자니 남건 타다년 베심지 다음지 아니 랑따도 대반도 받아 랑따도 하면 봐. 지바인도 자니 디 심지 때나 아니 대화데 디나 쩨마랑 동하다잖아 쩨마랑 아니 대화데 딘베 탑시 아니 니마들 행위 정도에 쉬쉬네 쉬쉬야 되니 아니 라린라 똑네 어떤 지식이 삼바 아니 쉬지 취되니 양 아니 담자는 데 와야네 근데 지삼로 당원이 야보서리스.
So to set that motivation, please contemplate as follows. Meditate that all living beings have a wish for happiness and a wish to be free of suffering, just like I do. And wouldn't it be wonderful if they could experience happiness and be free of suffering? So as a method for that, I'm going to listen to these teachings and put them into practice so that from this day henceforth I can really apply myself to this endeavor of freeing beings from suffering and guiding them to happiness. So it's good if we combine this aspiration with a real promise, a determination or a vow that we're making to ourselves along these lines.
Ta chetang dewa siya tila, ani nekap ke dewa tang, tartuk ke dewa la namba ni, tanda chi yong deka duwa. Pena nekap ke dewa siya ti, chi luchor ke dewa tsam, wangbo go nga dewa tsam. Ani chi dii tola chi ka nga mi tsam, ani dewa siya tang. Ani dii...
So we can think of two types of happiness, temporary happiness and ultimate happiness. Now, temporary happiness is the kind of happiness, pleasure that we experience through our senses of our body, things that pertain to this life, being relatively free from problems in this life. You know, this is a temporary kind of happiness.
Ngarang chun di nekap ke dewa te, ko mbasi tundo chunchi ke di nekap ke dewa siya te. Dewa de dini tapsi chi, si shiki yori, donga de trali tapsi la ya, tanda chi beso shiki yori isi. Nekap mbasi chunchi ke kora tundo.
So this endeavor to attain temporary happiness and avoiding suffering is something that every life, every type of creature, even down to little insects, try to do that. They try to get away from pain and suffering and find pleasure that they're seeking.
The imbi nga tin tartok dewa siya te, ani me lutin de thone. Ani me nam chu de pe chu tang ne. Ani me lutin de thone, lam tam be chu la te ne. Royal ma to ni tapsi jimba chi yu ma.
But as for the ultimate happiness of the mind, there's really no way to experience that except through an internal development of such as the Dharma and practicing the teachings of Buddha.
Tendi indu tsani, ta ngarang tsu lutin de yu li, lutin de tang.
And so, and that's in our life form as a human being. If we use the full capacity of our human intelligence, then human beings are really the only ones that, by going into internal development of a spiritual path, of the Dharma, can attain such ultimate happiness. Otherwise, there's no other way.
Oh, tendi indu tsani, ta ngarang tsu lutin zambo chik tang, eni simtin zambo chik ta ngarang tsu la nekap chik la. Ta te kache deke yu na hako man mataba siya te lepke ta yu tini te juza te mataba tabo siya nga doa. Tendi indu tsani, ta yu ring tong kache neke wi shiki yu mar, ta kaang tatcha ta yuba te la ngarang tsu la lutin zambo chik tang, eni simtin zambo chik, lu simni ke tin, eni roa yin le chebaran phaba chik ta yu dewa isi.
And that's because at this particular time, we have a very special life, with a very special kind of physical basis, as well as a mental basis. So that has come together for us. But it's subject to impermanence. We have no idea how long that we'll have this special opportunity of this type of body and mind coming together.
Tendi indu tsani, tendi chi samla tongo thoni tambo nga tsu kunglong jutang te, ta ngandi chi lusen ku ting chebar phaba yuwa te kandu sine nga tsu pechu tanga do. 때 야부지 삼로 당와이나 아니 되게 토니 아니 공론 줘야 되라. 아니 빈도 요거 요리시.
So an additional facet of our setting our motivation now is to think, well, what am I going to do, with this very special life that I have, with this special basis of body and mind? How am I going to make the best use of that?
근데 삼로 당와이나 아니 공론 줘야 되라니 될 체벌로 요리시 공론 되라.
So if that's a part of your setting your motivation, it helps to set a very special kind of motivation.
야, 다들은 거랑 주사들라 아니 산지에 추게다니 인보스네 안다. 산지에 아니 니들라 따와까다가 사제 예스 가시에 추지 너무 예스 매만다와지 요리도 된데 다 낭부 추게나니 인보라지 단데 차대 요리지.
So the main subject I'm going to speak about this evening is something that's at the very essence of the teachings of Buddha. Sometimes it's called Four Seals that attest to something being a true teaching of Buddha. Other times it's referred to as the four-line summary of the Dharma.
다들 담보가 가장 아랑게 대라 만드와지 티네 잡아치들라 만드시지 뒤야지 요리티. 근데 드시도 참아라 막와치 자와도 지난 정가 전염도 맞지 라요스 담보 드시 맞잖아.
So I've composed a written commentary to this subject, and so I'd like to have it read as we go along. First of all, the root text, Mitsama. Okay, let's all read this four-line verse, which is at the beginning of the commentary. All compounded things are impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering. All phenomena are empty and selfless. Nirvana, passing beyond sorrow, is peace.
다되게 안드시네 야용거 요리시데 뒤축은 로당되게 지 간사 직 산지 제 공방 토고와이나 간사 직 산지 공방 토고와이나 담보 주다 진스나야면도 주다 레베스나야면도 지 든데지게 토네야 직라티네 직 용고와지 르메지데 깨테나 이시네 든데지 띵게 요리시데 그
So this verse reveals some stages, or like a staircase, for an individual to progress to the state of enlightenment in a cause and effect kind of order, where each step gives rise or enables the next step to be reached.
근데 이두자니 담부대게 가르친 것도 지난 제 탐지 못다 봐시.
So the very first subject that Buddha speaks of, and here's that all compounded things are impermanent. So impermanence is the first subject.
지 든지 차대요 말이지 마다 봐서야 돼 나랑 손직이 찔러고랑 우유 내서가 토니 무슨 매근 통화당 냐선 영화 유지지 마다 봐서야 돼 우유 내서 찍은 듯이 자기 요리 마도 남부 지용지 차대요 말이지 맥사와지 차대요 말이지.
So this idea of impermanence is not something that's only specific to Buddhism, or something that's made by Buddha, but rather it's something that speaks to the actual nature of our existence. The entire world and all of existence is it's the actual fact. It's the actual way that things exist in the state of impermanence, of transitoriness.
내가 주인 지문이 올린시 거리스 켈링 거리스 우유 내서야도 켈링 거리스.
So if it's something that accords with fact, something that is true about the nature of existence, then we should accept that. We should understand and accept that.
다데 가르싱 아주 켈링고와 이나데 간드시는 마다바시야 돼. 마다바시야 돼 간드리자. 그 삼노타야데 배 개친 버리시다.
How do we accept it? And so what does this mean? What is that nature of impermanence? It's important to think about it.
산지 좀 되게 취탐지가 나니 곤탐지가 나니 이 마다바 곤데 초도 쳐봐이시.
Buddha said that among all types of meditation, that meditation on impermanence was the supreme meditation.
짐승 가인시나 빼나 마다바데 가린 임볼을 놓고 요리세 되자니 나랑 저 딱번 임볼라. 딱버는 짐빈 임볼라. 딱버는 짐빈 임볼라 마다바데 용거요.
And why is that? It's because meditation on impermanence acts as the antidote to our clinging to things as being permanent.
니들이 나랑 저 삼로라. 어떤 가 시기리 있어야당. 코 마다바리 있어야당. 데 마다바리 있어. 타원 마다바가 로다 파야데. 무엇이라고 마다바 매근 통 나왜 튀긴다 다른 이 마치네. 하마오 논도시네 된듯이 내니 망보요리시다.
So even though this is a fact of our existence, it's obvious, easy to see,
타번 마다바다 아주 통고요 말아왔대. 락번 마다바다 무슨 가난 sol은 통들이 가서 켈링 통고요 말이시다.
this gross level of impermanence, leave aside understanding something subtle about impermanence, how the momentary changes that are constantly going on, but even this gross level of impermanence, which is completely obvious, many people just don't think about it. They never consider that. They always think of things themselves and situations and so on as being permanent.
마다바시야 돼. 근데시는 로공와 이나 마다바 솔로 로공송와 이나. 아니 친디게 단진데 도네. 단진데 도니 값스 랑 띠냠데 아니 랑 기반지 별로대야 도 그요리시.
People don't, think that, they don't often think, I will die, right? I may die anytime. But when we think about that, then it serves to cut through our clinging to things as permanent, and also the very strong clinging and grasping, cherishing of things as being permanent. Tagsin, rangchen. So it can put an end to this kind of selfish attitude that clings to things as being permanent.
지금 마다바시야 돼. 로 담배추를 철거지게. 로 담배추가 솔로 철거하다. 로 게베 솔로 거야.
So considering impermanence, really thinking about it, is something that spurs our mind towards positive things, towards the Dharma, actually, sacred Dharma, the idea that this is something to do to develop oneself internally.
아니 락버드 당가랑즈 다들 리딘 디톨아 강한 망보지 치와시야 된 가나도 참아 디솔로 로고요. 딜라 가서 유사요 말인 치와시야 랑관 로고리 마다 빨라 타타 진행 가서 야보 지 삼로 땅대와 이나 디 치와시야 될 타니르 로는 치와 렘니 값스 아니 치와 렘니 모델라 세는 암라미 봐 아니 지 치와 값스 지 다카레스 그래 랍 문에 냠네 야보 시데니 제나 아니 지 가인도 쪼인도 아니 지 근데 연구도와 추바체다 딘바든데 정니 값스 자와니네 코랑 세나 신앙메와 가이 쪼인데 쳇타바든데 연구도와 아니 지 슈라 짱니 바차 야 만용리 근데 뭐지 정니 값스 아니 배신앙 차오 그 짐시 갈라 툭데 시디잖니 대하 다 발라 로 자와니니 삼마 마당네 디존자가 툭데요라.
So we're all headed for death. Well, this is a fact of our existence. All life is moving towards that final transition, that death. And the benefit of thinking about that and really being cognizant of it, and remembering it throughout our life, is that as that time of death draws nearer and nearer, it will be something that we'll be prepared for. We won't be very anxious about it. We'll see it coming. We'll understand it. We won't have anxiety, so much anxiety. Whereas if we've never thought about that, we haven't prepared ourselves with that being the end of our life, then it can be something that's quite terrifying and not well understood. And this is the problem that arises from never thinking about our own death, never thinking about impermanence. And so, like if someone is someone who has thought deeply about death in their life, and they're a good practitioner of the Dharma, not only will they be free of anxiety at that time of death, but they will also meet that time with joy and as a great opportunity. So there are these two different levels of impermanence, a gross level and a subtle level.
So
it's talking about how all things change, that all compounded things are in a state of change. So gross impermanence is the kind of change that we see in the seasons from winter to spring, summer to fall, passing of months, days, and years, the stages of a person's life from birth to sickness and aging and death. So these are examples of that gross impermanence which we can see. So if we can even really comprehend and realize this gross level of impermanence, it can have a tremendous effect on our direction, our return towards the Dharma and positive development of our mind. But what is behind this gross impermanence? It's the subtle impermanence. It's the constant change that is going on. You know, that's what causes the gross impermanence. If that subtle impermanence was not happening moment by moment, there wouldn't be any possibility for gross impermanence to occur. So now, as for this table sitting here in front of me, you know, you would probably tend to think of it as being the same table that was there yesterday, or that existed, you know, months or years ago. But actually it's not. It's not the same table.
then this in the dig ya ju ke meng la ko ran chok se si ta ya ju ji wa de doing ji to ni sam lo dang wa ina
In actuality, the table has no reality of its own. The table is a word that's designated, to a configuration of particles of wood, where legs have been put down, a flat top on it. But table is actually no more than just a designation on a certain kind of arrangement.
that is chok se de chok se khorang de ya chok se sia ke meng ta da hing le this dig ya ju de la de chok se de hing dur mang bo ji nyam de zong de ya ji la ni hing de thara mang bo ji nyam de zong de ya ji la chok se meng ta de chan de de thara chama de ko ki chi la ki chi len jo wan do de ke yo ri si ki chi len jo wan do de ke yo ri si da ben de ngarang ju mei zu phong ke cha xian jo wan do wa nan yi 주랑 그 죽부 풍복 그 차시에 칼장 그 다들 추수 그 뒤서 주랑 그 초와 대당 다들 매 죽복 그 초와 되니 마나와 차대요라 다기 추수 찍기 값 주랑 그 죽부 초와 대당 다들 죽복 그 추수 다들 죽복 그 초와 대 마나와 차대요 빼디 나이 나랑 주 죽복 주랑 도와 나이 생의비 주용수도 봐 참아 이제 차비 주용 그 돈이 주랑 도 되게
So a table is this arrangement of at the molecular level of particles and atoms and molecules of wood, which are in a state of constant change, just like the atoms in our body are constantly changing. That they're not the same as they were an hour ago or yesterday. We can notice different feelings in our body, but there's this constant change going on. So it's like that.
어디니 있잖아요. 타면 맞다 봐 망보 진 요한도 진라 송네 아니 라고 맞다 봐 진 요한 용거 요래.
So through this constant momentary change, we refer to as subtle impermanence, that and brings about the grosser changes that we see.
다들 기당 거니 차라거더니 맞다 봐 로당 들지네 노지신.
So this is degrees of subtlety around impermanence, that there's this gross levels and then subtle levels.
다 맞다 봐데 나랑주 맞다 봐데 곰바이나 랑kin징기니 몰라도고 요리. 와 랑키반 진비니 몰라도고 요리.
So if you're really aware of impermanence, it acts as an antidote to selfishness. It acts as an antidote to considering yourself as supreme of all.
락바드 진유몽 라소바 진유몽도 차 시당 아자 차도 유몽바 라소바 메제와라 핑크 요리시.
And it helps to not develop delusions of clinging attachment and aversion and confusion.
베나 베티 야와이나 윤족나니 텐데지 송요. 윤족은 나니 메질라 뒤체고네 추랑 약합근 틈질라 메진 가라와이나 추랑다 솔 따야리시 속도 따야리 추랑 세게리시 추랑 세야라 나와 숨레마도 요 말이시 다 약합근 틈데 말레 끼자 시와이나 코랑게 어당가 나와 숨레마도 체메와이나 내 뒤체라 내 가르치겠다 메데 가르치그리 메데 그 말레 노치가 말아 메데 그 꼬마 자가 말아 메데 그 투바 치가 말아 대신에 메데 꼬바라 야부지 상로 따니지나 어당가 체 라마데 나와 숨레마도 메 되게 체들랑에 당원에 타네 말핀 톨리지게 야보지 쓰기 인상바 르가 이 순각 주바데 란이 그디 디나네 담도고 요리스 거랑 담도고 요리스 담토고 요리스.
If someone was, for instance, sentenced to death by law or by authorities, that it was to happen in 3 months, and they knew that they had 3 months to live, then they wouldn't use that to go about stealing and hurting people. I mean, if they did, it would be a pretty silly thing, so stupid thing. They'd probably more think, well, how am I going to make the best use of this time that I have left now? What can I do to really benefit myself, benefit others, and they'll tend to make that kind of determination if they know that they only have a set amount of time to live.
ngarang so tadan zambeling gangna ta chi ma ke ma ta ani tan zambeling gangna chi pe ma si shenang chawa ji ta de chu zambeling gangna.
So we live in this time in the world where there's frightening things going on, wars, conflict all around the world.
Te karichi de yoga chi de rang jiban jibel lo te yo yo ra.
And what does this all come from? It comes from this attitude of self-importance, that I'm more important than you.
Ta di lo de kare yo ko chi de tak ban jibel lo ke o te nge maung ba la chi chi si gi. Nga maung ba la ja khap de maung ba la de shi gi. Nga nam de ma chang de maung ba la de shi gi. Nga maung ba la de shi gi si ya che ka tan ji ga lo shok chim bo che bang de ne. And se bang de in de zane any tik ju de ne de cha xie dang de mo. Any di wang ge any lu ge nga ke ju ba de se le de ne. Ta zambeling ge ni ju cha ma de ne yong ge yo si.
And this is all tied to a sense of permanence. This is me. I'm going to do this with my country or with my family. And it's tied...
The future, right?
Yeah, in the future. In the future, it's that this is going to be what I'm preparing for in the future. And it leads into all the different types of delusions of attachment, aversion, jealousy, competitiveness, and so on.
Ta ti indi zane ta ko yung ka sa ke pe na chu deming rao te nyumong ke chu yung sa ke go deming rao te go jak sa te kali jak ri si zane rang ki pan jimba lo te rang ki pan jimba te lo te nyumong de tor go ri si she ke yo ra te tor go ai na thablam ya shu de kare si na mata pala sam ta wa ina rang ki pan jimba lo rang na chi chimbo chi sewa ina lo ka che de dawa ka che de sani de ta treng de tata de su ha ko gri da rwa ngarang le chi bo chi se na ngarang le ya bo chi se de wa ina ta de chi sam long khor de cha ne ani rang jin jin se ya de la ngu su ko rang nu de wa da chi ta ma ta ba se ta yo ko do wa si.
So when we have this attitude of I'm the most important, it's all the key behind it is this idea of impermanence, that I will be here to possess these things and to have these things and to control things in this way. And if we really are think about impermanence, then where is the validity in that? We don't know that we're going to be alive in a month or a week or even for another day. And so this clinging to myself as being most important and making plans for how that's going to manifest, it leads to all these problems of developing delusions.
Ta ni ndu za ne ta ti mata pa te la ya bu chi sam lo tang de ta ta mata pa la ta ga sa sam lo tang wa ri ma do mata pa la gom ja ko ga chi nam ju thu ji na ko ram mata pa la se gom ja sa ma bo do gom ja sa ma bo yu ri sam lo tang sa ma bo yu ri.
But it's understanding impermanence that acts as the actual antidote to that, but not just reading a little bit about it, thinking a little bit about it, but really familiarizing our mind with it, meditating on it over and over. There's many facets of it that we can contemplate, so to gradually familiarize our mind and make it something that we're very accustomed to being aware of.
Ji so wa yin na mata pa la lo ya po ji ju ko de li ka ma chi mata pa chi po la sam lo tang de le ma chi wa yin na di ju la ni mong chung a de cha chung a xie dang chung a nga ja ta tha do la so ba chung a ja cha ja yu ri chi.
So if someone is really contemplating their own impermanence, it will definitely bring about a lessening of the deluded states of mind, disturbing states of mind of clinging attachment and aversion, pride, jealousy, and so on.
Ta mata pa 다 나랑주 다다 의서 나랑주 라고 마다 발라 삼노 땅 삼마보도아 다 빼나 매지는 치와 마다 바 곰세도 자네 등상 의서 통이 발마 가지 시간도다 다 드랭기 니몰라 가지 시유래 니 나와 나니 가지 시유래 든한 나니 가지 시유래 든지게 니 무슨 통대 살아니 삼노 땅 삼마보 차대 유리지.
So to contemplate our own death, to think about death, we have so much evidence of that, in the world around us. How many people have died, this year, or this month, or even, just today? We have a lot of fuel for our contemplation.
가서 현황 그 대화한다 시 대화도 들으셔야 되나 야보 말이시라 마다바 nga shigri sen she dewa ina den de yo mare mata pala lokur chali kapse mata pare ya nga shigdo shi ni mo tela ta nge kari chigdo shi ni mo tela che samala ngala phiya karendo ma shig tini pala nge sawa zambo leka sambo kari chiando ta thablam yimba chi tsayari ta thablam yimba chi tsatu ani tambe chugalamna tambe chug di lamna songwa ina any matapala lo that's karse matapa gom jamna local market yung ko chu ko yoris matapa se ya de guba ngoma de tambe chule shu ze ki ji
that's mumble somebody jina nga sen together yang ke so na tes
ta karse
ya bo so ba
bena matapa se ya de 다가서 시에 되는 되게 요 말이지 시에 되나로 와 대 구바 요 말이지 matapa guba ngoma de 가래시데 로 tambe chule 거와리 다 시니 모텔라 가솔라 가래 고도 시 치스마라 가솔라 고야 가래도 동보대 삼노도 마시기치 라마텔라 가솔라 가래 지야도 다 탑람이 야슈 가래도
그렇죠.
대삼노도 거예요.
So the point of this is not to panic ourselves. Think I'm going to die and just to be afraid about it, to be terrified. That doesn't help anything. That's not the point. The point is to think about, well, I am headed for death. I'm going to be dying. And so what will happen at that time? What will it really be like? What could I do that could help me to prepare for that moment? And how would that affect my future transition beyond death? So the real purpose thus of thinking about impermanence is to guide our mind, to turn our mind towards the Dharma in these ways.
데리도 와. 다 데리도 자니 다치 라마랑 아창 나라주 치 라마 가래오나 때라 지 탑람점 보지 짜야. 낸디나니 시에도 나 남바타 하지리. 지란서 드랭이 메다 바키자 시기 사니니 지란서 남바 차고를 지 데게 시기 요 말이지. 나랑 그 문에 친디 토니 머잠보. 예네 피니 그 머잠보. 랑라 심바치 보용아. 던디지 그 람데 나무 출에 라서 나간 토마송시 체 스마라 이나양 기와 스만 등 힌지 이네 송데 춘델레 라서 나랑 문에 토마송시 김치 대시에 그 요리 마도 지난설에 들은 마다바 주시에도 지난도 차마 산이 남바 차거리 남발에 라서 요 말이시는 게 대시에 그 요 말이지.
So I'm not saying that now that you've heard about impermanence, you should definitely become a Buddhist, like me, no, that's not the point. The point is, think of how am I going to be a better person? How am I going to be more helpful and beneficial in the world?
pero ngarang 그 은혜 이바이나 ngarang 남바지 임베 차네 ngarang 그 은혜 이나 다 텔레 라서지 남부 출에 라서지 도마서 챈들라양 아니 기 선바치 보용아 세 스마라양 델레 라서지
And just from my own experience, if I share what my own experience is, that, for the happiness of this life and to bring about happiness of future lives, I have not found anything that surpasses this path of the Buddha's teachings, Buddha Dharma. So I'm not saying that you should become a Buddhist, but I'm just saying that in my experience, I haven't found anything that surpasses it.
Tenerido tane, ta Matapasea de Namja Jund, Chimatapasea de la Lotti, Sasamotane. Oh, Tangone Tane, Lot Hasachil Lepson, Mashi Deate, Narang Sunam Chimboy, Ta Kati Deu, Kati Degu, Chichi Mambori, Sunji Nyori, Tenerido Tane, Kati Deu Hakomado. The nigga daily part de la chi, lama de la Leka Zambochi, the Sava Zambochi. Sene Yaksari, some Nikatabari, that they log.
So what I would always encourage you to do is to think, well, what is the best use I can make of this life? I've reached a certain age now, and there's so many conditions that can lead to death, and very few that will help to sustain my life. So in this time that I do have left of my life, what is the best thing I could do with it? What was the most beneficial purpose?
Niditani, the Metabasia de Guba Mambo Yuri, that Yabuchi Sama Tawaina, that Kondu Shibanagi, Metabala Yabu, Sama Tang Devaina, Nekap Chin Dik Tola, Najar, Trado, Kunzi. New Balasoba shook the Tamata Madabax. Any the Hana Shivakaps, Chenunguni, Madaba Guni can show up the Caps, Tini Motilla, Madabala, Lo Yabu, Samatan Devaina, Lulu Chinishatagurita.
So we thought about many aspects of impermanence, and there are great benefits to really familiarizing your mind with impermanence, the fact of our own mortality will really help to lessen our development of clinging attachment to things, aversion to things, holding grudges, and so on, all the delusions, and at the time of death, it will enable us to meet that time in a very relaxed and comfortable way.
Nepa Mambo and Minkan and Mesha Sutala, Pe Mambo Rogoyos, Penian Rogoyo, Disonian Rogoyo, Takbarakilla, Minkan and Rogoyo, make it Tangayo, Puan Dungayo, Machine so that the shit is a Pen on Racket in the and this is some town, that the cheaper pitchimodo, Pen and Nambaji Shawatan, number Maimbaji Shawa, La Cheaper Chimodo. Ya Namba Nani. Nanju Yami shook Chimbosi, the Nishawachita, number main time Shawanila, Yan Chitang Chibra Chimbo, the young Degadoa.
So I get called to deathbeds quite a bit, in Tibet, to help people who are dying, in this country as well, help people who are dying. I get called to the hospital. And so I've seen, and I get asked to help, I get asked to perform poa, transference of consciousness of the person to a pure land. And so I've been able to observe many differences in the way people die. A difference between people who are Buddhist and who aren't. And a difference between people who are really serious, dedicated Buddhist practitioners compared to those who are Buddhists in name only. I see a lot of difference in the way that I've seen a lot of frightening passings, people who are very terrified of death.
Well, the Nidani, the tea Langa de Langa, so you Sakai, you maris, tea Nimotilla, so can you say you mangatel and Rogan missing, rolling depa missing the teleyuli tapsis in Soka Yomarda.
So we're all on this path together. None of us can say, well, I'm not going to take that path, to death. It's the fact of our existence.
The Nidani, Chiwamatapasia, the Sojin Chiranjata, main time tuned to Shegoachi. Nehako, you Chiranjo, Nether Kita Shiatella, Padishira, Gaushini, you married Tingo. Matapasia, Matapasia, the Nimbo, the she, and the Don, the Nimbo, the she, Yaja in the Mambochi Gawachikara. That the children, you never talking around so Musukoran.
So this is a very essential point of the Dharma. and not necessarily pleasant to think about. I mean, it's probably a lot of people would not really like to hear about this very much. They'd rather hear some nice sounding things and flattery and nice, interesting stories and so on. But this is the kind of thing we really need to think about to practice the Dharma. This is the very real essence of it.
어딘들이야. 근데 담 받아봐야 돼. 다보 늦에 담지 받아봐야 되지.
So this is dealing with that first line, that all compounded things are impermanent.
아니 니바데게 사케 담지 동하라야 돼.
Now the second line says that all that's contaminated is suffering.
또 삭바데 지바 담지 동하와리. 삭바세야 돼. 니몽리 야게 요되잖아. 아니 동하와리. 삭바데 지바 스나가 누주 용수도바 동하가라지. 삭바세야 돼. 니몽리 야게 요되잖아. 뉴몽게 꾸농 뉴몽게 꾸니 랑와게 요르무 지송 가르치 있나야 아니데 동하가라지.
So contaminated here refers to delusions, the delusions of confusion or ignorance and attachment, aversion, and so on. That when environments and life itself comes about through the force of these delusions, that there is suffering. There's nothing but suffering.
베나 사바데 지바치데 가란주 지 통사 그 맥기 여건 통사다 참마 가란주 지 주봉당 용조도 동하라지 스나누주 용조도 동하라지 시시게 요리시.
So this is saying that our body, the entire environment has this nature of suffering.
유세 가인 시디자니 가란주 시중의 여도 줄바 시지 추 용수도 바데 당보 용사데 남부 추게 나니 세구 주인시 시에게 요마도 진지티 고바보지게 셈레 로스 제바지게 주인시니 시에게 요마와 세구 주인이게 따셈 유몽지게 주인이지게 스나누주 가래이나야 대동하가란지 차대 요리시.
And the reason behind this is that in Buddha's teachings, the creator actually of the world is the mind. Buddhism doesn't accept a creator God as having been the creator of everything, but that things are created by our own minds. And if it's a deluded state of mind that's creating a life, an environment, then that will have a nature of suffering.
근데 자세 알리 섭되면 아니 근데 지송도와 지단 나완데다 랑게세 시미디네 뚜pen 타당다 데니 신의 중진 치마나 일음지 자세 알리 신네 근데 송요리 데 가레 송거리 치네 지단 나와데서 세기 야야지리 세기 파고 야와지리 시로와 디코라츠기다네 데 용어도와.
And related to this, a verse from the 37 practices of the Bodhisattvas says, whatever arises in experience is your own mind. Mind itself is free of any conceptual limitations. Know that and don't generate subject-object fixations. This is the practice of a bodhisattva. So there in that first line, whatever arises in experience is your own mind, brings out this point that whatever we see, it's established by our mind. Our mind is behind what brings it into existence.
네네다네 다 동하르세야 될 지당그 돈이 다 잡을 동하르 숨 이나가 동하르세야 될 망보 요리다. 다 망보 시마고 하시네 잡을 동하르 숨 되라. 애니 차반도 지지 동하르 요래 동하르 니 동하지 동하르시 동하라 나바 숨도와.
So there are many varieties of suffering. One categorization principle one is a threefold categorization of suffering into suffering of pain, the suffering of change, and the suffering of karmic formations, pervasive karmic formation.
다들 가랑지 배나 지 가레스 거리티 유브르 동하라세야 돼. 맘마보지 그 유브르 동하라세야 돼. 아니 대화 양 답하지는 은진가 마도 같이 동하는 은진이 요 말아 나랑 무서 다다 대화 양 답하지라 답배 기본 인식의 시에 대해서 지금 다들 대화돼 완봉고 고가 요도 집 대화 용서대 산지근 저로 동아리 마도 대화 말이 순거요 대랑 같이 대화는 지금 요라지.
Now, what Buddha refers to as suffering of change is what most people think of as happiness, a kind of temporary happiness that's experienced through the senses. They think of it as being just the pinnacle of happiness, the greatest happiness you could experience. Whereas Buddha says it's actually it's a type of suffering. It's a suffering of change.
네디자니 다든 저로 동하리지. 다 동해지 동하르서야 돼. 다 다당 안한 줄 무슨 동하지 용돼야지 도와. 무슨 지가 줄 용이 동하들라. 아니 동하지 동하리지.
Whereas suffering or the suffering of pain is the unpleasant feelings in body and mind that we can experience in our direct perception.
다디 동하르니게 용사가 콩 오마데 가래리 시드자니 아니 차반듯이지도 하세야 돼.
And then the real source from which both of these types of suffering arise is this underlying pervasive suffering of karmic formation, being subject to karma.
다디 차반 드시지 동하데 가르치나 다당 알아서 니할림베 풍보가 삭기의 그 풍보 시대자니 뉴몽그 디베 풍보 디 다다 간데시 드리 시대데 템데 쭈니나니 마렉바 드시 남바시바 맹다조 김치 조선비 진짜 마요네 코알은 참니 디 주보데 차반 드시지 동하리 시작해요리지.
So that pervasive suffering of karmic formation is what really refers to this body that we have. It's a body that's created through delusion, as is explained in the 12 links of interdependent origination, where what propels things to taking birth into samsara is, first of all, ignorance. And then based on that ignorance, creating karma, that karma leaving imprints on the consciousness. And then that gradually leading to birth and life and onwards. So that this process or this body, how is it produced, as it's illustrated there, it derives from delusion.
Pena dungarasum de la pechik de chijalan de yoris dungarasum de pena chaban du ji dungarasya de machila mada dungarji dungarasya de machila de la nasa ji na ma na chi de na bardon da chi ma da ni kha chi de ma chi wa ji na de ani dungarase ti ge thola ani sathok lang ne ani sathok lang ni kap so indi sin de tang ni kap so ti sin jam do ko do 아니 되는 줄을 동하세 막 유진의 조대 나차의 가와를 시대전에 다 생부터 샘신하는 낭리 동안으로 가롱직라 준차 송네 다 드니직 송대들이 마도 네 빠빠집을 책이요 말아 빠빠라 미수와 짱게 핑크요 말이 미피데 가르시 거시도 저런 많이 나차의 짬아 조고와이나 많이 나차의 가와는 도 담보 하고 와지네 아니 미피 되는 시거다. 근데 지 세와이나 아니 마이 나차 은혜에 가르쳐 거다. 제토비 요리지. 근데 이들자니 마당 마이 나차 그 사라데다 내가 양소와데다 마 코랑 그 댕그 나차 됐음.
So an illustration of these three types of suffering would be having a sore on your body, some kind of wound that feels a little bit better if you scratch it. Well, the wound itself, the pain of that would be like the suffering of the pain, suffering of suffering. Whereas when you scratch it and you say, that feels good, that's the suffering of change. There's a bit of alleviation of the intense suffering that was there before. But what is the actual source of it? That would be comparable to that pervasive karmic formation. If you're going to really get to the root of it, you would have to find, what's causing that in the body? And only by getting to that cause would you be then able to bring about a healing of the condition. So this is similar to how these three types of suffering exist.
두세 탐지 뭐다 봐. 사시에 탐지 동하. 사시에 탐지 동하세야 돼. 다 동하와세야 돼. 제덩이 손에 가라서 다들 시에는 마보시야도 다 마보시에 줘도 자네. 내 너드시 될시. 대학 틀리시겠지.
So this is relating to that all that is contaminated is suffering. There's of course a lot to say on each of these subjects, but I'm going to keep it a bit brief this evening.
다 두세님보다 sabject 이동. 다 취담제 동시 다음에 봐시. 다 순바의 취담제 동시 다음에 봐서야 돼.
So the third line says that all phenomena are empty and selfless.
다 취담제 동시 다음에 봐서야 돼. 취담제 동시 다음에 봐서야 돼. 제당 취계 돈의 시와이나 시즈취당. 다지 가르쳐 그래 가는 주 뉴문부터 봐도 시즈도 봐서 드바니 그 돈이 가사가 단지도 취지 단지신데 근데 시당만 보여. 그래서 시에 막와시 취계 시에 막와시네. 내 너도 시에 요게.
So this line can have a lot of complex subjects brought into it. Relating to different types of grasping itself and the alleviation of different levels of obscuration from the mind, diluted obscurations, which are grosser compared to subtler obscurations of omniscience, obstacles to obtaining omniscience. And so there's some complex kinds of issues that can be addressed in the context of this third line, but I'm not going to get into all of that.
Bana the 취해야 돼. 동시 다음에 봐. 시즈 취용수 줘 봐. 동반이리. 시시하게 요리. 다 너도 시도.
So what it's really saying here is that everything that exists, all phenomena, everything that can be known is emptiness.
지금 가르치는 동반이 시시하게 요리잖아요.
So what is the reason? Why is everything empty of self?
베나 지금인데 시즈 취용수 줘 봐. 땜들이. 시즈 취용수 줘 봐. 땜들이서 자 땜들 인바이다. 땜들 인비죠. 관심 인바이나. 근데 때라 동반이 되게 요리.
That reason is that they are interdependent, that they arise in contingence on other factors. Anything that arises only in contingent or dependent upon other factors lacks having its own self-powered existence, its own independent existence.
또 취탐치 동행해야 돼. 취탐치 동반이 팀용이. 대인도 전에 다음에 말이야. 디 측강데 팀용다 다음에 해야 돼. 넘버 집을 마도 주로 임바 속한 게 해요 말이다. 그때 넘버 7주 요는 민나데. 라고도 들어봤지만 넘버 7주 요는 민나데 다음에 받아 팀용이 돼. 해요.
So this reasoning behind phenomena being empty of self, being dependent, the fact that there are dependent originations, this equivalency of interdependence to absence of self-existence or independent self-existence, is something that is unique to Buddha's teachings. This is something that's not found in other teachings. So it's really
other religions,
other religions.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's really one of the supreme, unique teachings of Buddha. So it's one of the most special characteristics of Buddha's teachings. So there's So this is a deep, vast subject. We could go on and on about this connection between selflessness and interdependence. One day, whole month wouldn't even be long enough to cover all the implications of that. So the basic thing here is that whatever is interdependent is emptiness.
동바 니레자 소기 많이 나송요.
This is what's behind that statement in the Heart Sutra, that form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Form is no other than emptiness, emptiness is no other than form.
근데 있잖아요. 나랑도 다다 딱 가래서 그래지. 딱 바른지 몰라. 딘럽걸로. 딘럽걸로 딱 바른지 봐. 여랑근이 딘바르지 봐. 유진 로용이 딘바르지 봐. 여도 유진이가 그 돈이 딘바르지 봐. 로데 간디시 용거를 시대시대. 로 신절로 로이 돈이. 로 님버왕 용아리.
So when we consider and feel, ourselves to have this sort of independent self-existence, and everything we see in the world around us as having its own independent, separate existence, it's because our mind is following this mistaken train of thought that doesn't understand how things actually exist.
benna da seya de benna rang seya dang chutamje dongxing da mi ba seya de yo korang ne tongbari yo ji sengung ne tongbari yo ji ni ge toni tongbani seya ge yo tani dambo rangung ne tongbani yin samba de lo de kale khabori do lo konya kale khabori do rangu se yin samba ji ge lo de yo do si.
So this understanding of selflessness needs to be cultivated in terms of both our own personal identity, as well as the phenomena in the world around us. So in the case of our own personal identity, the idea of us being empty of self, something that's difficult to grasp. We think I, me, it feels real. It feels like that's real.
Pena di lo de kare yung gore chide tani pena member chapchup ka kapsi member masar wa kaps member chapchup ka kaps thaba thawo chi tele ya na thaba thawo tela ya bo chi mate wa kaps ani tele drug lonji ngi yori si pena magic me masar wa tang member chapchup se juchi ma bo chi lati ne thaba de o te druri samba ka lonji ngi yori. Duri sambal lon jiya de chona yabu chi samlo te dur mare wa lo khorang nor sungwa wa ngarang chokya ngarang chipun jimba nga dindam de jiba nga se akhe rang chipun jimba lo te thapal drudin jimba na yi lo sinje lo de sungwa ri ma to den de nga se ya yo mare si.
So it's similar to coming across a striped rope in a dimly lit room. It might be possible to, perceive it as a snake. Oh, there's a snake in the room. But once you find out that it was just a striped rope, then you realize that thought that you'd had was mistaken. It was you had it, but it wasn't valid. It was a wrong thought. It was a mistaken thought. Well, that kind of thought that grasps to ourself as being truly existent, real, supremely important, is a similar type of thought. It's a thought that's actually mistaken.
Ede pe ti na yi ngarang zo zupo de snake na yi snake sin na drdzma na yi chila phungbo nga yolet jana yo chi le jam shi zu chu yong zo le ten de long ko yo le si ni cha la chu tam chi dong xing dang da mi ba ni ge to la di lo den jing dang xin ji lo ba so ne ngwe ne san ne chu san je dong ba ni ri de dong ba ni ha ma wo ne tak ba ji ma lo de dang ngwe ne sin na rang da de ma de ba ri de 다들 말하와 하마고 하시네 론지당 신주로 로 송되잖아요 난징 로 지용네 니가 토르던데 송와리시 베나 들 타발을 들든 저와 로 나이 니가 소르던데 지금 트루스와리.
So this kind of mistaken thought occurs in both our terms of our own sense of ourself as well as of the world around us. Ourselves, we're composed of 5 aggregates of basically a body and mind, and amongst these aggregates, we get this feeling and grasp onto a real self-identity, and the same with objects in the world around us. But they're all similar to this, mistaking a striped rope for a snake, because they're mistaken in the way they perceive things.
Tadi lo de norwa in the chane, lo norwa tila ya do gona, manor gan yan ro goina, pe kale khabo. Lo norju si gona, pe masi kale khabo is. Lo nor swate, chindi toning as lo noata mari. Giwani cheram mambu la lo ting norsola as norsola, lampe zapchi la notsare is.
So this mistake is something that's difficult to correct, difficult to avert and to remedy, because it's not something that's even just been in this life alone, but it's been in countless previous lives as well, that we've had this mistaken perception of the nature of ourselves and the world around us. And so it's deeply embedded in us, deeply rooted. It's a very strong strong momentum on this mistaken path that our mind has taken.
Oh, the Ninditane, that dami basia, Chutam Yatonshi dami basiate. Dami basiate.
I must be too fat or something, I guess.
Sure, Gaji.
Thank you.
Gaji there.
Did you not gyaba, sha gyaba, and zado? Anything wrong? They dempa maresa.
Any Benechu subject to dami basiate, Pena da seate, Pena, Nada and Khenpo Karten, Chiranjuina, Khenpo Karten, Lama seate. Where is the Khenpo Karten? Who is the Khenpo Karten? What is the Khenpo Karten? Pena Tendichi Samotawaina, Tang Chiranjuk Ming Ala Taxate, Nuzupotela, Dim Zupotela Main Takariva. Della Lapa second, Della Go second, Della Kamba second, Della La second. Zuboka Chashi really main rayura. Te passar waina, Ti Tumbati and Te Khenpo Karten, Te Revesina, Te Risakamaravata. Te ko main Sam Latine. Main Sam Latine, the main the Pugura, or the Mardati chip, Yurgic, Daijik, Yurtela, main tan, main Telatine, any nine Sabaka logic. Taki Mazivna, Tayabuchi Samu Madane, what a ngate in Sabachic. Sometimes a Nazupoti in Sabachic. That Kanonji to the law.
So if we investigate, for instance, in my case, who am I? Who is Khenpo Karten? It's just a name that you're placing on that basis of designation, which is, my body. You're calling my body Khenpo Karten, but actually every part of my body has a name: my hand, my arm, my head, and so on. And if I go throughout my body and say, well, is hand me? Is arm me? Is head me? Then we don't find that. And yet when we don't consider it, there's a great tendency to think, well, I am my body, and so on.
Pena Zuboke, Daji Zubote Latine, Tele Menkitan, Ti Menta Zuponila, any nine Sambachike. Taki Mazin, Korang, Tata Takal Dudun, Chipa Chadita. Taki Mazin. Taki say one, Tadun Sanimani Pasiari. Tadun Sanimani Pasi, Taki Yang Sewaina, the Kawalo, the Taki Sewaina. Near you, Maris. That's the Yin, the Tama, the Shizu on the door.
So when we don't really examine it, then there's a great tendency to think that I am my body, I am my mind. But when we subject it to an ultimate analysis and really inspect it, we find we don't find that self, apart from there being a name that's placed upon a particular basis of designation. So between the basis of designation and the name coming together, there's a positing of a self. But this idea, this feeling that I am really my body, I am really my mind, and so on, it's like that mistaking the striped rope for the snake. It's a mistaken state of mind.
다들 단신시야 돼. 독자리도 단신시야 돼. 나시야 돼. 담보 요소 차리지라. 담보 나시 달에 신주지. 나 근데 신고를 찾기 봤지. 담보 나시야 돼. 로든 콜. 나한테 로든 콜 차리잖아. 아니 이제 찾아지야다. 랑그 소라. 차 이게 소라 당네. 다 된리지기 뒤 왕대게 아니 뇌차다. 시당다. 또뭐다 나자다 차돌아서 봐대. 아니 뒤 왕게 아니 라이가 레와지. 리도아 나시야데 미 삼바치케 로라 텐디치 나란 힌지 미 삼바치케 로라 힌지 용아이나 디 나기 집에 에는 되차시다 또 몰라서 봐 디그 니몽도 저거데 용어요 말이지 용야요 말이지.
So this fundamental mistake of mistaking the nature of ourselves, and having this very strong belief in the reality of ourself, then leads into believing in the reality of other, and then the attachment to self, and the aversion to others, and all of the delusions derive from this misconception of a separate self, independent self.
다들라 나주 곰자가요라 mambo치가 나주 곰자가요라 곰자데 mambo치가 곰자데 가요 미디네 내 갑자라니 그 곰자데니 신내한테 곰다니 mambol라 오늘 곰 초트 줘봐도 다당에 공도 시바나지 맞다 빨아야 보지 곰지 잡 와디 코드 곰자야리 다디 코드 담보 맞다 빨아 떼시지 곰자 떼তে도 동하게 근데 제대로 맞다 빨아 곰 추스자 아니 사케탑지 동하와티라 곰자 아니 곰고 무이지대 취담지 동시 다음에 봤어야 되라 아니 은혜 타네 다 곰고 힘보세네 다음에 그 따왔어야 돼 로 맞지 그 말다 근데 지 곰자와 있나 아니 내네 은혜 냠용도 지나 알레 당연히 된들 인도와 다 된들 야 삼바지 그로 용야요리지.
Well, sometimes people think of meditation as being simple emptying of the mind. And there is a mental quiescence type of meditation that largely involves that kind of meditation. But as we just saw, what is the supreme of meditations? The meditation on impermanence. These lines here of teaching are things to meditate on. And so developing a really good understanding, realization of impermanence, and how whatever arises from delusion, contaminated things, have a nature of suffering. And then getting to the real crux of the matter, this third line, understanding the selflessness of oneself and the world, studying it, to understand it, and coming to an understanding of what is being said here. This is real most important meditation.
근데 다 되게 다시야 취탐지 동시 다음에 봤어야 돼. 다들 수그 공자야지. 다뒤 취탐지 동시 다음에 봤어야 돼. 다다 공부 시반 아니리 다 숨들라. 뒤 숨나. 사제담지 도 누제담지 마다 누제담지 마다 봐 사제담지 동하 취지 동시 다음에 뒤 숨나 로야보 오진 코네. 로야보진 코네. 공야보지 소와이나 애니 냐한데 시와서야 돼. 란신그 용야요리지. 대마도 냐한데 시와서야 돼. 카짬리 마도 용토야 요 말이지. 디스음들이야 보지 로토와이나 애니 냐한데 시와서야 돼. 아니라고 요리지.
So it's by applying ourselves to meditating on these very subjects. All compounded things are impermanent, all contaminated things are suffering, and then all phenomena are empty and selfless, and getting a really good realization of those is how then real liberation can be attained, nirvana. Other than this, kind of progression, there's no way of attaining that kind of great liberation or enlightenment.
타마데 요야요 말이지. 사실 누제데마다 사이도 주데도 양인데 바시와서야 돼. 냐한데 시와서야 돼. 용거 말이지. 소나.
Without these stages of meditation, there's no way to attain the nirvana.
제당 사제 좀 되게 취소해야 돼. 뺀맛이 탕해비 통이 송 야주지리야시.
So, in general, Buddha taught in a very skillful manner.
탁 헤비톤이 손데 가레시데 추용수 좀 참아 님보 짱짱라 고랑 님몽 님보를 달리 탑시세네.
So everything he taught was directed to being the remedy or the antidote to different deluded, disturbing states of mind.
산지에 당보 때 송유때 때 가서 때 송유리다. 가서라 때 송유리. 되제 담지 마다 바리다 시등 아주 딱바 론지가 요리. 와 로신지 로바 예로 요리. 가주때 로 잡로 잡디 가르스걸 잡. 되제 담지 마다 바이 시등 아주 딱바 집 로지. 사제 담지 동하와 인 시등 아주 대화랑 로지. 되제 담지 마다 바 사제 담지 최 담지 동시 다 메바시들 아주 다 집은 집아 단지도 로지. 던지 직선 용 살리지라 냐데 시와시야데 그 참라 거를 동하시야 될. 그러나 참아 거나 독소 그 돈도 하유리지다. 아주 내가 내다 참아 독소리다.
So Buddha is saying to us, hey, all compounded things are impermanent. Because, we're grasping them as permanent. It says that all contaminated things are suffering because we think they're happiness. All phenomena are empty and selfless because we believe in this idea of a true self, self-identity of ourselves and other phenomena. So as long as we don't understand what Buddha's taking and take an opposite path, go in the opposite direction, then we wander into suffering of samsara, of conditioned suffering existence, round of birth, death, and rebirth over and over again.
드르리야. 다데 그런 거 토니 그런 곰 작당 때양 그런 거 토니 담보 마다 발라 로지 곰. 쇼반다이 지나 마다 바 곰. 이니 닝홍다 이바이나 베나 디제데 튼시라 곰바이나 쇼강하오 랑나 마다 바 곰. 이니 닝홍다 이나 아니 사케담지 동하와 동하고 고와 동하가랑 인티 거티 삼노다 곰. 아니 타마텔라니 고몬다나 아니 다미 그 따와 그로 다 남주지랑 사자 침보다 조바 침보다 생바 돈이던데 곰자게 있는데 저 곰난 되게 요라 다 쪼쪼데 가르시데 랑 기반 짐바세다 간르리야 저 간르 그 돈이랑 기반 짐바데 가지고 된데시 이 간르 그 돈이랑 기반 짐바데 롱임바데 간르시 손도 다 드리고니 싶다 양의 싸먹당 예검세네 데 세대와이나 아닌 다르도기 냐한테 시와서야 돼 라이 그 고랑 레베지리도아.
So these four subjects could be contemplated in the course of a day, say in 4 sessions of meditation, where in the morning you thought about how all compounded things are impermanent and really contemplate impermanence. And then in the middle of the day sometime to contemplate the second line about how all that's contaminated, all that is produced from ignorance, attachment, and aversion has this nature of suffering. And think about how samsara, this round of uncontrolled suffering existence, has this nature of frustration and suffering. And then sometime towards the evening, then contemplating how all phenomena are empty and selfless, the meaning of shunyata. And this could incorporate your meditation on Mahamudra or Dzogchen, if you're doing that kind of meditation, realizing the emptiness of the mind. But what's the main point here? The main point here is uncovering, well, what is the real cause of my having this feeling of self and self-importance? What leads to me feeling that I'm more important than others? What is the foundation for this belief in a real self? And getting to the root of that and uprooting that. And then the fourth line, nirvana is peace, will occur naturally, automatically, with the contemplation of these first 3 subjects.
라버드 다미 세야 돼. 다미 그 따와서야 돼. 빼 마시다. 빼 마시 짜친 버리자. 다미 그 따와서야 돼. 당 띵들세야. 그래서 그것도 빼 마시 짜친 버리도.
And especially this subject of selflessness and how it corresponds to interdependence, interconnectedness is so important for realizing peace of nirvana.
단지세야 돼. 빼 독자리도 빼나 단지세야 돼. 준조나는데 소요래. 맞죠? 단지세야 되게 지와 토마 미반에 다 받어 코알에 야짠이 탈마타 와지. 다른 코는 담잡지 뭐 마음발은 독상 코와는 로에기 이게 수수리 시대다네 단지 그수리 준조나니 근데 손도와
The Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, Shantideva examines, the faults of self-grasping and self-importance, and seeing how they create so many problems for us in this life and to future lives, that all those different kinds of sufferings are created by this mistaken perception that clings to a self in the face of there being actually none.
윤조근하는 로고 대화 진이 바 도군 대군 인된 되래서 당에 따와시대 썸노 당게요도 말라이텔라고요 로고 대화 진이 바 대군 인된 되래서 로고 동해 진이 바 대군 란된 되래서 망도 시다 지시 그 시베란도 시바도 특别인제 뜻세 바 내니제네 제발도 다땡은에 단지 그 폭 균창 엄마 드니 요거도 단지 그 폭 균창 엄마 아니 나시 랑가 소라 차 아니 딘차는 나다가 연지 로니 온데잖아 나시 담보지야 me first you say I am me 딘차는 my family my relatives my friends my countries 다 든지네 나다가 연지 로니 준차 디그 토니 다데베 든지야.
So that ultimate kind of faults, problems that arise from the self-grasping ignorance is spoken of in that Guide to the Bodhisattva's Conduct by Shantideva, where he says, all the suffering in the world arises from self-grasping and selfishness, whereas all the happiness that arises in the world arises from love and cherishing others. Worldly beings seek their own gratification and wander in samsara. Buddhas seek to benefit others and attain great enlightenment. So there's not much need to say a lot. Just look at the difference between limited sentient beings bound in suffering and Buddhas liberated in bliss.
아니 라버드 딘참니다. 랑아세야 돼. 나세야 돼. 저한테 전에 나탕가 연지 밖에 로지 것도 나시 담보 조 나세야 지상이야. 딘참에 다 디서링서를 손나. 다 디서링서를 손이는 나가 나면 나가 변자 나가 뭐 창신이 신네. 근데 지역도 와. 다디 로트 가려운 것인데 랑지 반지 로트 그서 도라네. 당아주 자그 북나를 줄렌듯이 쭈쭈야다. 단지 짜짜라베 법수 쭉 신의 예론 보지 남소나소나 수만하지. 랑지 반지 로트 그 아주 자그 북나를 쭉바나 희신은 쭈야는 가서. 배 그서 도보.
So this mind of self-grasping, or we think I, then leads as it continues, leads into mine, I and mine, my friends, my family, my country, and it keeps you in this kind of very narrow, limited state of mind, as Tsongkhapa speaks of it. In one composition, he says that it's like being stuck inside an iron cage of our own making, through this, all arising from this mistaken sense of self and then self-importance.
집시 메들라 단진 침보요 봐. nga zolan dende ba. nga le ma to mi sang ke 단진 배 침보요 메들라 Jitin di to ni Koran ka leka jachi mondab to ko mari si Koran. Deda ma yin ko chi robo da romo tang ta kare se go chi tindila yin de lam zo to ko yo mari. Ti sa mande wa yin o ngan de ma song si. O nga chi chi ri ma song ngan de ma song si na so ka ga ga ma ra Koran la. Jitin di ke to ni na ya Koran ya bo chi sang lo tang. De le jang ti sa yin to la sang lo tang de ni ma chi. Rang dan zi nyung de wa yin me le chi samba de ni ji si de cha lo. Yo ma cha ma ka ga o chi kri. Robo to mo ma nga ra kri. Gu be te se me te la sem sho ga chi a yo Koran la. Ngue ne gu li te se na ma te sem sho chi kri.
So even in just a normal society, we can see this kind of dynamic that if someone is very self-centered, they won't be able to accomplish a lot in the world, and they won't be able to really do much for others. They won't be able to take care of others, and then if they are having problems, then others, might not care that much. Whereas if somebody is very altruistic and they're always working for the sake of others, trying to help others, they can have more determination, stronger enthusiasm to do things and accomplish more. And then people will naturally care more about them in return. So there's this kind of benefits we can see of having an altruistic attitude compared to a selfish, self-centered one.
Ga nan yi chen de to na na cha mang bo ji de sang lo ko su to bo si de yong do stress se ya de chin ni ma ko wa de. Ra ba? Di de lu ba mang bo yo da. De si ni ma ko wa da ji tin na cha mang bo sem ko na cha mang bo de. So si so so la. Da da gong de xie ba na ji dan ji ja ji ta ba su ya juk ta ne. Any deal or the Costota, Tanga, Masonga, Masonga, Chichi, going, may go, you say. Any teaching, any social sena Gangas or yours.
So all these problems that we see everywhere in the world, people stressed out over things and they can't sleep. And it all is caused by this this very strongly self-centered attitude, where somebody's just concerned about themselves primarily, like that example of being crammed into an iron cage. This very narrow attitude that's just so focused on my own welfare. It leads into these kinds of attitudes of being anxious, being stressed, and then all of the mental problems that arise from that, and all the physical problems that arise from it. In short, we need to really think about this subject of non-self. What does this mean?
Rinpoche, he's a holiness Dalai Lama. He meditated every day.
On selflessness.
Okay. 20 times a day.
20 times a day. So that's the real main meditation of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, which he reflects on throughout the day. For a moment as he's eating, for a moment as he's walking, going places, over and over. So I can guarantee 100% that this understanding of selflessness is the supreme medicine.
For your mind, for our mind, my mind, your mind, everybody's mind. When Shinenda Gom Godwa, Shine Gomni Kapse, Tamata Gom Sia, the social care Gom Gon, 다 뉴몽 그 님보다 단지 그 님보다 가생도 하고야 요 말이 삼바다 닌지양 빼티나 이리 삼바다 닌지 짬골래 그 단지 무슨 님보는 로또 깔래 가버리 나초는 마치 버종키 짬 마치 버종키 쪼세 가르리 단지리다 대 간데시 짬이 땅 그래 남이 그 따와티 티나니 니 거다 될 곰자다.
So this, all of our problems arising from this self-grasping ignorance, this self-important attitude, deriving from this mistaken perception, how are we going to remedy that? It's not remedied by anything except the meditation on selflessness, understanding selflessness. Even meditations on love and compassion, or just stilling the mind, won't act as the antidote. What is at the root of all of our problems?
어디니디자니 니마르리 지데티 콜라 양스양세 페나 매치게 계자시에나 페나 티가스 사모탄고 매치게 추라 독자리다시 추라는 말한도다시 승이 무수 바페 독자 다땡아 단진데 짱니 그 갑데요라 단진 추라는 티스 미힘바시에나 람상 컨트롤사 추란산이 티스 진람라리나 람상 컨트롤사 초초 차데라 디갑스 징인 트레니 값을 알레 나세야 돼 가완도 나세야 돼다 가완도 간들이자 나라 대짠 책임바 짬 랍드 나 컨트롤 사거도와 컨트롤 사상 엄마데 가완도 나라 대 람나 나라 가래 누군도 다 저런 멋지게 저런 짬 마시바리 저런 멋떡자리 실라우나 대 가완은 누군도 저라 아버지 사모타나 술 누군도 추라는 멋지과리 양 토야 요 말에 마만도야 요 말에 추라는 멋지과 시장으로 다 가래를 넣고도 추라 아버지 사노타나 대석골에 양네 하는 것이 딱 계시네 사노타나 센더딘데 핑거리지.
So it's really good to be contemplating this all the time, and one time, for instance, is when somebody says something nasty to us. If you're a really bad person, or you're just so impolite, or whatever they say. And when we're impacted by something like that, if we don't think about it, then we may immediately get angry. But if we use this meditation and say, now where is this self that's being accused?
또 대랍네 출라 가래 누군도 와 책임 바지 나와 있는 대 출라 가래스 누군도 다.
What am I getting angry about? Does this words really hurt me? Do they make me a better person or a worse person?
No, you are the same person.
But no, because I'm the same person, regardless of what they've said to me. And so to go into this kind of examination of where is this self, who is this self that's being accused, and then one won't immediately fly into a rage and retaliate.
그러나 뭐뭐지게 단지시야데 개침보리 단지시야데 나가 숨접 나지. 나라 단지시야데 메나 나 숨접 두고 말이시야다지.
So a lot of people think, you got to take care of number one. If I don't, take care of me, then who's going to do that? So they think that this self-grasping ignorance or this attitude of self-importance is what protects me. That's a mistake. So what you need is protection from this self-grasping ignorance, this mind that believes in the true existence of the self. You are not self-grasping ignorance. That's not who you are.
산지 대화식 님보다 같이 줄래 대야보인스 시게리 대 단지가 같이 trola 당겨다.
Because who we actually are is good, the Buddha nature, the Tathagata Garbha. Buddha didn't say that. It's not the fact that our minds are self-grasping ignorance or attachment or any of the disturbing emotions. Buddha said that the nature of the mind is clear light.
단지 게 다들 이와대와 싶어 생오마든 초기요리시 대 초라단 거요리시
And,
나주 갈레송 접시 그리시다네 단지 코랑의 송 접시거든
So what ruins things, the mere fact that our mind is the nature of clear light, is the self-grasping ignorance. So that's what obscures it and causes problems.
That's
what wastes it. So I think this is about where we'll stop for this evening with the time that we have.
뒤져요. 아니 저한테 낭나 팹네. 다들 라마고시. 아니 저한테 낭난 돈에니.
So feel free to take this short explanation that I've written home with you. We won't take the time to read it now, but you can take it with you and read it at your leisure.
아니 저한테 좋아요. 나 좋아. 땅나 야고
If anyone has any questions they'd like to ask, we can take some time for that.